My dad had a factory job and bought a house at 24. I have a master's degree and can't afford rent. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. The rules just changed without telling you. Not left, not right, just math. And the math is going to make you angry. One income built a life in 1987. Two incomes barely cover rent in 2024. Same groceries, $130 more every single week. 5/20. 18 days to go. No emergency. Just Tuesday. 40 million people searched, "Why am I falling behind this year?" You are not the exception. You are the result. Half of America. One paycheck from crisis, including six-figure earners. Let's talk about why. 21% invisible pay cut. Since 2020, nobody announced it. You just felt it. You noticed the prices. People said it was temporary. It wasn't. $2,000 more per year just on food. That money used to go somewhere useful. You have to spend more money just to go earn money. The math is broken before the day starts. Rent up 30%. Your salary? Maybe 4. Someone won that gap. It wasn't you. The average American cannot qualify for a mortgage on an average American home. Read that again. One hospital visit, $4,800. After insurance. Getting sick in America is a financial emergency. $12,000 a year extra, just to live the same life as 5 years ago. Middle-class stability in America is held together entirely by credit. It looks like a life. It's a loan. Almost half of America working extra jobs at night. Not because they love it. Because the main job isn't enough. Your number went up. Your life got worse. That's been happening to the average worker for most of the last decade. $400. A car repair. A dental visit. 4 in 10 Americans can't cover it without going into debt. You sacrificed everything they told you to cut. Still not enough. Because the problem was never your habits. That 3 a.m. feeling isn't anxiety. It's the accurate perception of a system not working in your favor. The middle class didn't disappear overnight. It was disassembled over 40 years, starting with one big idea: trickle-down economics. Cut taxes on the wealthy. Benefits flow down. That was the argument for 40 years. The money didn't trickle down. It accumulated at the top. While the people who built the economy got nothing. 5 million jobs with pensions, benefits, stability, gone. And workers were told just retrain. A generation borrowed tens of thousands to qualify for jobs. That paid the same as the factory jobs, without the benefits. You went into debt to qualify for a job that pays less than the debt costs. America called that progress. Their best year ever. Your worst purchasing power in a decade. Same economy, different results. 344 times. The work didn't change that much. The rules did. You paid 22%. Amazon paid 0. On $11 billion in profit, you fund the roads they ship on. Guaranteed retirement eliminated. Replaced with a 401k. All the risk shifted onto you. They called it flexibility. The safety net you've paid into since your first paycheck. It might not pay back what you were promised. When wages don't cover costs, people borrow. Banks collect 21% on every dollar. The squeeze is their business model. 400% interest on people with nowhere else to go. This is not predatory by accident. The free market builds for the top 20%. It always has. Because that's where the margins are. The ladder is real. They just removed the bottom rungs and kept pointing at the top. They did everything right, saved what they could. The system just didn't hold up its end. The check doesn't cover the rent for millions of real people who worked their entire lives. The economy they report on and the economy you live in are not the same economy. When prices rise, asset owners get richer. When prices rise, workers get poorer. Same event, opposite results. For 40 years, companies were told maximize shareholder value. Shareholders are not workers. You were never the priority. The vacation was on a card. The car is leased. You're comparing your real life to their performance. For years, the media blamed the middle-class crisis on small purchases. Let's actually check if that math works. 38 years of no coffee, while home prices kept rising. The avocado toast argument was never real. No amount of 5 a.m. wake-ups. Fixes a 21% invisible pay cut. The spreadsheet is fine. The numbers going into it are broken. Same ambition. Same effort. Different starting line. Pretending otherwise just makes people blame themselves. Everyone is performing stability. Nobody is talking about the edge they're on. Self-blame is the system's most effective defense. Keep people focused on their failures. They'll never ask who designed this. Max your 401k. Great advice. For people with extra money. For everyone else, just another reminder they're behind. The same crisis that destroyed the middle class created generational wealth for the asset class. That structure. Small business was how the middle class built wealth outside corporations. That path is narrowing every year. The ladder exists. They just removed the bottom rungs and kept pointing at the top. They didn't have to freeze salaries. They chose to. Nothing in the system required them to share the gains. If you're running in the wrong direction, running faster doesn't help. Motivation keeps you running. Information tells you where to run. The stress of financial pressure makes it harder to solve the financial problem. That's what makes it so hard to escape. The car is leased. The vacation is on a card. Don't chase the performance. You cannot make good decisions based on false premises. Clarity is where everything changes. America spends $18,000 per person on healthcare. Germany spends $7,000. Americans die younger. This is a policy choice. America is the only wealthy nation with zero mandated paid vacation. That's not culture. That's policy. Other wealthy countries made a different choice. Student debt is not a law of nature. The ability to be born poor and die wealthy is lower in America than in 26 other countries, measured repeatedly. When you subtract what they don't pay tuition, healthcare, childcare, the average Danish family has more take-home than an American family. When workers had collective power, wages rose. When that power was taken away, they didn't. The data is that clean. The strongest middle class in history was built deliberately. When the policies that built it ended, so did it. You're not looking for someone to blame. You're looking for clarity. Good. That's exactly where this goes next. Everything I showed you is documented. And so is this. People who understand the system navigate it better every time. What can you do that most people can't, and that companies desperately need? That's the question that changes income. One skill, 1 year, and you move into a bracket where the math starts working differently. The decisions that change the math save thousands, not hundreds. They're uncomfortable. They're also the only ones that matter. Time is the only asset that costs nothing, and it's the most powerful variable in the entire equation. The sequence matters more than the amount. Out of order means losing money guaranteed. Warren Buffett publicly recommended this for most Americans. Not because it's exciting, because it works. The conversation takes 15 minutes. Not having it cost you potentially $800,000. The match is part of your pay. Not taking it is telling your employer, keep that part of my salary. 3 accounts. Legal tax advantages available to most working Americans. Most aren't using them to full potential. Where you live is one of the most powerful financial decisions you can make. Location is a financial tool. The couples who build wealth together have the uncomfortable money conversations first. The goal isn't to hustle forever. It's to build a bridge to a different baseline. Both go against human instinct. Both can be learned. Both are worth more than any stock pick. The people who build wealth inside an unfair system understand the rules better than the system expects. Everything we covered leads to one moment. This moment. Between understanding something and deciding what to do with it. Specific decisions, made by specific people, that benefited specific interests. That is the documented truth. One decision, compounded over time, is all it takes to start a completely different trajectory. Not a vision board, a plan, with a monthly number. Plans beat intentions every single time. The families that build wealth talk about money openly. Start that conversation. It's uncomfortable once. Then it changes everything. Share this with the person in your life who's struggling and thinks it's their fault. It was never their fault. The education that should have been in every American school, here, every week, for free. It can be rebuilt, one household at a time. By people who understand the game well enough to play it differently. Clarity is not the same as hope. It's better. Clarity is where real decisions actually begin. The middle class didn't disappear because of you. It disappeared despite you. Now you know. What comes next is yours.